The best Simon for Rosh Hashanah. The Simanim are special foods that are a central part of the festive meal on Rosh Hashanah. We dip an apple in honey and wish for a year that will be good and sweet. We also eat a pomegranate, praying that our merits will be as many as the seeds of this fruit. Rabbi Yisrael Meir HaKohen of Radin, known as the Chofetz Chaim, spoke about the most important Simon, one that is important not only on Rosh Hashanah but all year. We know there is significance and strength in the symbolic foods we prepare for Rosh Hashanah, and we, therefore, strive to eat what is sweet, and to bless and pray over these foods, he said. But if we are so particular in looking for meaningful simanim, there are none better than a pleasant disposition, a smile, and the patience we show to others. And there are no worse simanim than anger and stubbornness. After all, our behavior has influence and consequences too, as it states in the Gemara. Whoever shows compassion to others is granted compassion from heaven, Shabbat 151b. On Rosh Hashanah, we need to pay special attention to the simanim of affection, love, and kindness. Apples and honey, the classic Rosh Hashanah combination. Sound of the soul. While other nations celebrate the new year with a raucous party, we start the new year in a completely different manner, devoting several minutes to being quiet and just listening. Accordingly, the blessing that we recite, Baruch Atah Lishmoa Kol Shofar, reflects that we are partaking of a mitzvah that does not involve doing anything, only listening. The sound of the shofar evokes important events in our history: the Akedah when a ram was sacrificed in place of Yitzhak, the blasts of the shofar that were heard at the giving of the Torah on Har Sinai, and the Yovel Jubilee year, when slaves were set free. It also reminds us of the future redemption, which, according to the prophets, will be ushered in by the shofar sounds. We do not speak, react, or argue for several moments. We just listen. We do not jump in and express our opinion. We quiet the noise of all the hustle and bustle around us, and within us, and concentrate on a pure sound, the voice of the soul. Which Reuben will you be? What are your thoughts on Rosh Hashanah? Rabbi Kalonimaus Kalman Shapira, the Rebbe of Piaseczno, advises that rather than examining the year gone by, we should primarily look forward to the coming year, and consider exactly what we want from ourselves in every area of life. Rabbi Shapira was murdered during the Holocaust, but he left a valuable educational legacy. If you desire to serve Hashem and to elevate yourself, and not to be in the same place at the age of 70 as you were on your bar mitzvah, do this. Every year, set a goal for yourself. If your name is Reuben, for example, imagine the Reuben you would like to be a year from now, his achievements, work, character traits, and everything else about him. With this imaginary Reuben in mind, measure yourself against him throughout the year. This way, you can see exactly where you are falling short, and what kind of work you need to do to become him. Strive so that your daily service to God and personal refinement will be sufficient to meet your goal of becoming the Reuben you wish to be 1 year from now. Welcome home. Bubbies. Yaakov Salavin is the deputy head of the Golan Regional Council. Explaining his decision to stay in the north during these tense weeks, he wrote, "We've chosen to stay and hold onto the land despite the challenging situation. And if anyone thinks we're crazy, they should know, and Hezbollah should know too, that despite the difficult year that Israel has endured, another plane full of new immigrants landed at Ben Gurion Airport last week." Stay updated with the latest news. Subscribe to the Jerusalem Post newsletter. Subscribe now. Yaakov wrote that after years of deliberation, it was precisely now, amid this hardship, that the realization dawned on many in the diaspora that it was time to come home. Among those who reached this understanding were Yaakov's grandmother, Jacqueline Yeheved Hirsch, 87, and her sister, Marcia Rubkin, 89, both from Atlanta. Jacqueline will live in Jerusalem, and Marcia will live in Rehovot. Most of Bubby's and her sister's grandchildren have been in Israel for many years, and they both have dozens of great-grandchildren here, Yaakov continued. We no longer have a grandma from America. This clarifies for us how we should not take for granted the fact that we get to live here, and how, despite the challenges, there is Northwest better place to be. So, while I spent Shabbat here in the north, Bubby was at the Kotel, where she heard the Haftorah for the first time as an Israeli, a Haftorah that speaks directly to her. Lift up your eyes and see all of them gather and come to you, your sons will come from afar.